Hi everybody and welcome to Condish Sound Check. I'm Scott.
I'm Caitlin.
And we're continuing our journey, well, your journey into Morrissey and everything, my journey into madness. We're doing the second Smiths record, Meat is Murder. As I said in the previous episode, I feel like the next three albums that they put out were definitely more, they felt like, they were not only stronger, but I think they felt more like records. They felt like the music on there felt more like songs rather than just music playing and Morrissey just like complaining over it. This one was a really, I think, one of their first strong record. That being said,
well, I mean, if we're gonna say this is their first strong, this is only the second album.
Still, but yeah.
So compared to the first,
but still,
one. Okay.
But when you only have 4 albums, anyway, I mean.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about 4, this isn't the strongest, but.
No, but their first strong record,
okay.
Like their first record, where, like I said, you can really tell that more time and effort and everything went into this. Not that time and effort didn't go into it before, but you could more care, I think, went into this one.
No, I agree.
So why don't you give us a little backstory, since you know more about this stuff than I do.
I don't know too much about this one. I think they have a different producer at this point.
Which was probably for the best, considering, you know, the first album. So pretty much, like, when you think the Smiths, this is, like, the album you think of. Everyone, like, even myself, I think of the
really?
cover. Well, no, like, the cover with the soldiers and everything like that. This is the album you think of. This is the first image you think of, as far as I'm concerned, when you say the Smiths, outside of Steven himself.
Okay, no, I'd agree with that. Like that image, yeah. That's an iconic.
So, as far as the songs go, like I said, this one was the first one where I started, like, actually not, it didn't feel so much like a chore, until we get to a certain song, which I will get to. It starts off kind of weird. What was it, the Headmaster Ritual, I believe is the first song.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's a weak start to the album.
Weak or not, it was just a very weird intro. Like, I didn't see that coming from them, or really any band of this nature. And it took me aback. I was almost into it, but then I was like, wait a minute, no, I'm not.
I mean, I felt like it was the intro was a little drawn out, and it was a weak start.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something I think is, like, very indicative of the Smiths, drawn out. It's like if their song, I like their shorter songs, not because they're over quickly, but I like their shorter songs because I feel like they have something to say, they say it, and they say it with like just the right amount of time, just the right way. When they have the longer songs, I feel like there's a lot of, like, unnecessary stops and starts, or, like, unnecessary intros or outros. Like, there's unnecessary stuff that just, I think, extends the length of the song. Probably because they didn't have more material. I think it's because, at the time, they didn't have any more new material, so they wanted to stretch out what they had to make it a full length, which I can't fault any band for that. I'd do it. I think any band would do it, you know? But, again, this is, like, he doesn't do so much of the vocal soloing as I had mentioned, like, his vocals are pretty much dedicated to, like, the words themselves, and, like, when he does put in one of those, one of his inflections, one of his, like, melodies,
yodelings,
yeah,
catting.
It actually fits with the song. None of it feels out of place here, which was a breath of fresh air after listening to the first album.
I still love it regardless. And
that's fine. You can like it, but what I'm saying is, if you're gonna do something like that, there needs to be a point to it. It needs to work with the song. See, this is why I wanted to do it with my wife, because I knew that she would. I know how much of a fan she is. So best song on the album, what would you say?
Best song on the album. What was yours?
My best was Rush Home Ruffians. I actually like that song.
It's a really good one. It's poppy. It has a really good bass line.
It has a very good bass line.
It's almost got like a rockabilly feel.
The thing I liked about it the most was, like, it's one of the few songs where I feel like everybody was having fun doing it. Like, even Steven had fun doing it. You know what I mean? Even Steven's over there like, hey guys, I know I'm usually talking drab and dull and everything, but oh no, I'm feeling this one. You know, like, it it felt like everybody was having a good time, which,
Yeah.
you know, anybody who likes the Smiths or Morrissey will tell you. Their music can be kind of depressing and kind of saddening, you know? So it is kind of a nice change of pace.
I think this was there was poppy and fun songs, but this was a very passionate album, I think. I mean...
A little too passionate, and I'll get into that. No.
Oh.
I'll get into that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the Headmaster's Ritual, like, anti-educational system, you got domestic abuse, and I know we'll get into it with Mina's murder.
Yeah.
But,
Ugh.
I mean, I think it was a passionate album. He had a lot to say, and I don't think it was whining.
It depends on how you look at it. But like I said, I like Rush Home Ruffians. I felt like it was one of those songs that it stood out because it was similar enough to where I think it connected with the rest of the album, but it was different enough to where it stood out. It felt like something different. And one thing I always like about certain bands is I like when a band can do something outside of what they normally do and make it work. That's why I'm such a big Ghost fan. You know, like when how they're always like changing stuff up and doing new things. That's why, even though I'm not a big Pink Floyd fan, I respect that. I'm sorry, babe, but I do respect them for their ability to do different things and to try to be unique. So what was your best? You still haven't told me.
I'm gonna go with Barbarism Begins at Home. It was kind of funky. Oh, God, don't tell me that was your least.
It's not my least, but I did not like that song.
Really? I loved the yelping. It was kind of funky.
What did I say about oh yeah, I didn't particularly like it. I just thought it was too long. I felt like you could have cut like 2 minutes off that song and it would have been fine. To be fair,
there's a lot of songs on this album where I find myself when I'm getting towards like the end, I kind of like skip to the next one.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because like it's a lot of repeating. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I feel like that maybe they stretched the song. We're stretching some songs, you know, because gotta have that 6 minutes.
I know. No, I find myself skipping to the next one.
But yeah, no, I didn't like hate that song. I just thought it was too long.
Okay, that's okay.
But tell me about it. Tell us what you like.
I told you I loved the yelping.
Just the yelping. The yelping was so good. I love that. The yelping was so good.
I mean, compared to the other ones, I mean, I liked the one that you said. I think that was a great one. Yep, I thought it was poppy. It was great. I liked what she said. I think it was kind of...
That one surprised me. I'm not going to lie. Because at first I'm looking at the title and thinking, that's what she said.
Well, I kind of like it because, I mean...
It's actually not that bad.
I get the idea that he's singing from a female's perspective. And not like... I just feel like there's not many male singers who sing from a female's perspective of like... What do you...
Oh, no, it's just... knowing what he said in recent years, why I find this kind of funny.
Okay, but this was like what,
like 85, I think?
85, 86. But he did it well, I thought.
Yeah, well, no, he's definitely changed over the years. Like, don't get me wrong, he always was opinionated, but like I feel like he's gotten more ridiculous in recent years.
No, and I will agree with that.
It's just one of those in hindsight kind of things when you think about it.
Okay, yeah.
Worst song on the album.
Oh, Mita's Murder.
And I was gonna say it was a tie between Headmaster Ritual and Mita's Murder. The reason I picked Headmaster, I'm gonna lean towards Mita's Murder because I agree. I felt like Headmaster Ritual was just a little too weird for my taste. I didn't get what he was trying to say, what they were trying to do with it. But Mita's Murder, okay, this song, when you talk about like the stereotypical vegan. This is the anthem. This is...
And you know what? I believe if you ask people of that era who are vegetarians, like, what got you into this, I bet a lot of them would say Mita's Murder.
That wouldn't surprise me either. I would hope it's for the real reason that you should do it for yourself and not because, well, we're fans of we're fans of Steven and we do whatever he says. Because you should never do anything. Because, even if they're your hero, even if it's someone... you know, who's like the ultimate good. Don't do something because somebody tells you to do it because it feels right in your heart. Just go from the heart. But no, I thought this song was just... It was like a journal entry set to music.
Well,
It wasn't very melodic. It wasn't very musically. It wasn't as good as some of their other stuff. And I've told Caitlin, I think the band behind Steven on this is a really good band. The fact that they didn't do anything without him after the band broke up, I think is a disservice to not just fans of the band but music in general, because I think the band behind Morrissey, I said it once. I think the band behind Morrissey are very talented and could have done something more beyond him. I don't think they needed him to be successful, but you know, shit broke down.
Yeah, but I think with Mina's Murder, I don't think it was supposed to be entertaining. Honestly,
well, of course.
I think it's something he's very passionate about. I don't think he cared if you enjoyed it or if you found it entertaining. You know, those sounds, the saw, the cat.
Yeah,
I think he was just. It was supposed to be confrontational.
But that was the thing. Like, it didn't. I didn't get the vibe though of. I get it was supposed to be like animal torture, but they were the most untortured sounding moos I had ever heard. And honestly, until right now, when you said saws, they didn't sound like saws to me. Like, it didn't.
I mean, maybe they weren't, but it sounded like industrial saws.
No, I think that's what they were trying to do. Okay. But it was just, I feel like the sound clips he had, I just don't think they conveyed the point. But, like, I think my problem is, like, if this is what you're going to do, write an essay, write a poem, write a book, give a speech, you know? I'm not telling you how to write your music and make your music, but, like, does anybody really like hearing it's like people always say, like, don't preach at me, don't preach at me. This song is literally someone preaching at you to music.
But I don't think he cares.
Well, it's not a matter of whether or not he cares. I'm saying from a listener perspective, you know?
The only one I felt that was, like, jamming it down your throat is Murder.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's the only one. That's no other song.
But, I mean,
nothing else in their discography I feel is like that.
The nice thing is that's at the end and you can just.
That is one of the upsides. Again,
just skip it. You're done.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was just one of those things. Just like, I get it, but like, it's like, I don't know. Like you said, it's one of those songs I would skip, and it's like. Why would you put a song on a record that people would probably skip?
Because he had something to say and he wanted to say it. I don't think he cared.
I don't know. Maybe put it out as a single. If must release it, put it out as a single. Like, nowadays it wouldn't matter. But back in the day, like, release Mina's Murder as a single. You know, that way, if you cared about that kind of stuff, you can do it. But I don't know, to me, and it was out of place, too, with the rest of the album. Luckily, it was at the end. Like, if that was in the middle, this would have been the worst album. Because that, kind of like, remember when I got the most recent Aerosmith album, and I told you, like, I'm listening to it, and I'm digging it, and all of a sudden, that song with them and Carrie Underwood comes on and brings the whole album to a halt. Mina's Murder in the middle of this album would have brought the whole album to a screeching halt, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Like, and I respect him for having a message or whatever. I just think there were better ways of him to go about it.
Okay. So out of, obviously, the self-titled album and this one.
Oh, I would definitely rank Mina's Murder #1 and The Smiths #2.
Really?
Yeah. No, #1 being the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I am going to disagree. I think this one had really great production, but the amount of skipping I have to do to get through this album, like. Wait, you didn't listen to all the tracks? No. I did.
Oh, you mean like? I
just meant like if I'm gonna listen to it, I'm probably skipping to get to the next.
I learned something.
Well, I mean, the first album had like 4 of my favorite songs. So while yes, the production wasn't great on that one, there's some songs I really love. Like, I like some of these songs on here. There's some good songs. But I'm gonna go first album, The Smiths, and then Mina's Murder.
Alright, so we're going chronological so far. Alright. Well, that's gonna do it for this week's show. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Let us know how you rank these albums. Tell us what you think about Mina's Murder. And go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm a meat-eating piece of garbage. you know, come at me, vegans. Come at me.
No, please don't.
Personally, I don't have a problem with vegans. I eat meat, but I don't have a problem with it. If you want to do it, do it. I don't care. Like I said, follow your heart. All right? Don't do something because someone tells you to do it. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you can get updates every time a new video is uploaded.
Bing.
You'll know when this episode the next episode comes up. On this, all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff. But next week, we're going to do the third Smiths record, The Queen is Dead, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, guys, I'm Scott.
I'm Caitlin.
Reminding you that rock and roll never forgets.
And neither do I.
And neither do we.
Neither do we.
We'll catch you next time.